Guess what I forgot again?
Taxi vlog 326. It is the September the 9th, Thursday, just after sunset. I got 6:48 p.m. Just wanted to come in here and do part of the vlog before the week is over. I know I'm a day early, but I'll only be putting this up on Saturday anyhow. A fair bit of stuff to talk about this week, I suppose. Well, it goes kind of like this. Monday I came out and it was not very busy. It was, maybe get some lights on here a little bit. Monday was not very busy. It was slow to happen, and so I have my book that I picked up last week from the special order. It's Against the Tide of Years by Steve Stirling. Fine print. I'm almost, well, about a third of the way through it, and it will probably take me another week or more to finish it because the print is so fine, and I can get maybe 50 pages read in one night. That's how fine the print is. And that's without looking at YouTube either. So it was quiet, and I did a fair amount of reading, and I did a bit of sleeping, and I got through the night. Actually, I slept quite a bit. It died at midnight. What little business there was died around midnight, and between midnight and 6 in the morning, I think I had 3 trips, and yeah, I wasn't very busy at all. So I was out here, and I stayed until 6, and I went home a little disappointed because I didn't make a lot of money. Tuesday, I came out to work, and one of my friends was in the parking lot saying, "The night is no good, it's crap, it's bullshit." I said, "Oh, really?" And then as soon as he had told me that, I started getting calls. And I connected almost all night. I made almost $200 for myself, which is fantastic for a Tuesday night. Fantastic. It like made up for how bad Monday was. It just made up for it. It was fabulous. I did quite well there. And it wasn't any really long trips. I mean, I had a few in the $15, $20 range, but every time I'd have something between $12 and $16, they'd give me a 20 and say, "Keep the change." So the tips were good, and that's what made it work out. Towards the end of the night, I just, I took the car and washed it and quit and went home. Well, actually, I went to BackFit to do my exercises. Like I went for a decompression that morning earlier. Now I'm getting all mixed up in my chronology. Yeah. So Monday and Tuesday sort of averaged out pretty good, and I'm going, okay, now I don't have to worry quite so much. Money's a little bit tight this month because we have some expenses. Just things like getting the income tax together. That's a big hump for me. And so on. So after that Tuesday, I came out on Wednesday going, oh, okay. I got into the parking lot again and met up with the same driver, and he says, "Yeah, I think we're in trouble tonight," he said, "I think we're fucked." I go, "Oh, really? Okay." So I started working, and it was doing kind of the same thing as the night before. I had maybe $140 on or so by midnight. And then after midnight, there wasn't really a lot going on. And I'm thinking, well, am I wasting my time here? Might as well book on. And yeah, it was slow, and I was sitting there reading my Steve Sterling in the parking lot underneath a bright light, and my phone rang. My phone never rings, but it rang. And there was this voice saying, "You working?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Remember you picked me up at such and such restaurant a couple weeks ago?" "Oh, yeah, I remember you." It was that big tipper guy. And he says, "Can you come get me?" I said, "Well, where are you?" He says, "I'm at the condo." "Oh, okay." And all right, I said, "I'll be there in about a few minutes, you know, give me between 5 and 10 and I'll be there." So as I'm getting there, he had said, "Oh yeah, and call me when you get here. Call me so I know you're here." He called me while I was halfway there, and he says, "Oh, and don't go to the front door, go around to the back door." "Okay, where's that?" He says, "Oh, you go past the driveway and you go maybe 100 feet and you stop there. There's like a side door, back door, go there. Call me when you're there." "Sure, buddy." So I'm calling when I get there, and he comes out and he says, 7-Eleven. I'm not telling you which one. "Okay, 7-Eleven. Says, and he gets on the phone with somebody, and he says, "What's this text mean? Somebody's texting me saying I'm ducked." And I said, "Yeah, he's probably saying he's fucked." "Oh yeah, okay, okay. I have a BlackBerry," he says. "It has individual keys rather than that virtual keyboard." And I said, "Yeah, well, you know, these mistakes do happen sometimes. What I really hate is when you actually type F-U-C-K-E-D and it does give you D-U-C-K-E-D. And that has happened to me on my phone many times. It happens on YouTube too. When you're doing comments, it gives you a word that is not the word that you typed. Yeah. So anyway, we got to the 7-Eleven, and there on the curb this guy is sitting. And we stop, and he gets in with us, and he says, "Take me to the Howard Johnson Hotel." Interesting. And as we're heading there, we're on the highway, and the guy's saying, "Is that a policeman behind us?" I said, "I don't know. I don't think so." He says, "Oh, but there's cops everywhere. It's crawling with cops." "Okay, fine." He says, "Slow down to 75. I'm doing about 83. "Slow down to 75. Make sure it's not a cop. Let him pass us." The other car got closer behind us, and I said, "That is not a policeman. That is just a regular car." The guy says, "Oh, slow down anyway. Let him pass us." Okay, fine. I do not like being told how to drive. Anyway, after that, we got to the hotel, and meanwhile, the guy who had called for me went inside and arranged to get a room, and it took a long time. And meanwhile, the guy who he had picked up was having a smoke on the bench in front of the hotel. And then he came to me and said, "I'll pay for this. Can we put it on for 30? So it's like $33 on the meter, and he gave me $3 in coins. And we're running his MasterCard, and we've had a problem with our Interac machine. It's been getting communication errors a lot, so what you got to do is shut the machine off, and believe me, that was quite something to find out how that's done. You have to push some weird key and the correction key at the same time, and that shuts it off. And if you press the paper feed key after that, that turns it back on. I never knew that, because the Interac machine I had used before wasn't like that. Anyways, yeah, I rebooted the machine, and we put his card in, and it came out declined. And I rolled down the window and said, "Hey, your card's been declined." So meanwhile, the other guy's still getting his room, and then he comes out, he said, "Sorry it took so long," and it was like $35 on the meter at that time. And he counts out get a muffler, asshole. He counts out what looks to me like three $20 bills, and when I had it in my hand, it was four, because two of them were sticking together, as the polymer bills like to do. And I said, that's 4 20s. Are you sure about that? He said, yeah, I'm sure. That's yours. Okay, buddy. He says, can I call you later? If you really want to, sure. But I really don't make a point of doing these kind of calls, because then you're almost like obligated, you know. I don't like being obligated. I like being free, but the money's good, especially when nothing else is happening in the morning. So, yeah, I do a couple little calls, and a couple hours later I get called back to the hotel. He says, can you meet us beside the hotel? And as I'm pulling up to the hotel, my phone rings and says, where are you? I said, I'm right by these guys right next to the restaurant. And these two guys are standing real close together as if they're about to embrace, and they're really talking low. I can't hear what they're saying. And they're so close, like as if they're lovers or something, but they're like sharing some kind of secret, or I think they were doing drugs, because they're paranoid and shit. And anyway, the phone rings, and it's my friend again calling to tell me that his buddy wearing the backwards baseball cap is going to give me $30 to take this other character home. He says, how much is it to the 7-Eleven? I said, well, I don't know, about 15 bucks. He says, okay, my friend with the baseball cap is going to give you $30 to take this guy back to the 7-Eleven. Okay, guy gives me $30 through the window. The other guy's sitting in the back. And he said, he gives me an address, which is farther than the 7-Eleven, but I don't care. Fine, you know. The guy gave me 30 bucks, which is twice what the fare to the 7-Eleven would be, and it was maybe another $3 or $4 down to the guy's address. As we start to drive, he says, can you give me that 30? I said, no. He gave it to me. Yeah, drug addict. Always trying to get money. It's like that fucking guy last week who didn't pay. You know, if they're tripping on cocaine or crack or whatever, they don't want to part with their money. They want to get more money so they can get more. They don't want to part with money. They don't want to pay nothing. This guy wanted the $30. I said, no, he gave it to me to take you home. So I took the guy home. It was about $18, $19, whatever. Got him there. All was good. And then I got back to my parking lot after dealing with that guy, and I called my friend back to tell him that I dropped the guy off at home. He says, well, did he get in? I said, I don't know if he got in. He's having a cigarette outside the door. So that part of my job was done. I went back to reading my Steve Sterling, and at one point I was just falling asleep around page 163, and the book was open on my chest, and I was reclined in the seat, and my phone rings again. Can you come and pick us up? All right. Says, I'm at the hotel. Okay. So I go to the hotel, but on the way there, he calls me again while I'm on the highway. He says, oh yeah, when you get here, you turn left, and there's your hotel on the left side, and there's the old folks home on the right side, and there's a fence. I want you to pull up right by the fence. Okay. So I pull up right by the fence, and as I'm grabbing I get there, and as I'm grabbing my phone to tell him I'm there, he calls me again and says, how's it look out there? I said, it's fine. There's nothing wrong. Everything's great. He says, oh, okay, we're coming out. So he comes out and says, we're going to the condo. Now the condo is like 2 blocks away. Can't you fucking guys walk? Evidently not. So I went to the condo. He says, okay, you go up the street, you come off the cul-de-sac, and you come back. My friend wants to pay with a credit card. And when we pull over to the sidewalk, it's like $4.65 on the meter. And he says, make it for 30. Well, the chip didn't work, so I had to swipe the card. And he says, oh, let me give you Interac. No, it's okay, it's okay. It says the swipe will work, and the swipe worked. It says, make it for 30. It was $4.65 on the meter. So once we've run that $30 through, I said, do you want to go into the garage like we did last time? And my friend says, absolutely, I want to go in the underground garage. And the other guy says, watch out for the... But it was too late. We hit the curb. It was a sidewalk that was angled up at the entrance to the driveway to the parking garage, and we scraped bottom. He says, I'm in the same business as you. I don't like these cars. And I said, no, I don't like them either. I would like more ground clearance. I would like a softer suspension and more ground clearance so that it doesn't feel like a jackhammer after 9 or 10 hours of driving it. More ground clearance so it doesn't scrape when you got 2 big guys in the back. I would like to have vertical front and rear glass rather than the sloping that we have here. And I would want to make the controls a little less complicated. Fewer buttons and fewer touch screens and less junk. Okay, cross the road. I hate crosswalks. Okay. So I took them into the basement, and in the basement there was some woman sorting her recycling. Says, who does recycling at 5 in the morning? I said, well, you'd be amazed what some people do at 5 in the morning. He says, pull over next to that black car. I pulled over next to the black car. He says, I don't want anybody to see me at this time. It's like, what? You got guilt written all over you, buddy. So anyways, after we said goodnight, I had $160 for their runaround. Grand total would have been about 60 or less, but I had 160 off of these clowns. Well, that made my night. That was good. I took a lot more home than I thought I would. And now it's Thursday night. Now the sun has gone down and it gets darker every second. And I'm already booked on. I'm updating to see what my position is. Is it going to be a busy night or a slow one? Oh, I'm second. So I jumped up 1 position since I booked on. That's not too bad. I still think it's going to be on the quiet side. I don't mind. I'd like to read some Steve Sterling, and yes, I could use a little bit more money. Of course I could. Got to take the car in for an oil change. It's due. I don't mean this car, I mean my car, my own car, my little blue Bazoo. Needs an oil change. And well, there's tonight and tomorrow night. I'm not going to push it too much. You know, as much as I like the money, I don't like working with people like that. Then they get more demanding. You know, yes, they tip you big, but they still get more demanding. And so we'll pull into the parking lot and see what the Greek has to say. I'll get to you, I guess, early Saturday morning. Tell you how the rest of the week went. Hello, Nick.
How you doing?
I'm doing okay. Just got out here.
Huh?
I just got out here.
Oh, you're just coming.
Oh yeah.
Well, guess what? It's the weekend. And as it's the weekend, I can have me a drink. So that Thursday, the Thursday happened. It was kind of slow happening, and it just sort of dragged on. And I got to the point where I'd made a profit after midnight, and then it kind of slowed down. And I was lucky, I guess, between 3 and 6 in the morning, because I ended up taking home more than $100 after expenses, which, you know, for a Thursday, I suppose is okay, because the lease is higher on Thursday than it is on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, but not as high as it is on Friday. The reason they did that is had a higher lease on Thursday is because we used to have a thing called Thirsty Thursdays. Thirsty Thursdays was when we had the drinks downtown in the bars were discounted quite considerably. So people were paying less for their drinks, so they were encouraged to go out, especially poor students who didn't have a lot of money and were paying tuition and stuff like that. So this is kind of a taxi beer vlog. So that night, that Thursday, it worked out okay. And then last night, well, I forgot my camera, so here I am doing this with a webcam. I had recorded the first half of the week, or the first 3 days of the week, yesterday or the day before on Thursday night, because it was a lot to talk about and I didn't want to forget anything. And so last night I came to work, and it was relaxed for a Friday, because it's a long weekend. It's Canadian Thanksgiving on Monday. So because it's Thanksgiving on Monday, people have a 3-day weekend, so they've got more time to do the things that they want to do over the weekend. They're not pressured to get everything done right away, and they're not pressured to party hard right away. They've got an extra day to relax, which I don't. I don't have any extra days to relax. I'm working the same 5 nights a week I always work. That's the arrangement. So it was kind of an ideal type of Friday, because it wasn't so busy that I was chasing my tail all over town. And it wasn't so quiet that it was dead. I got to read, I guess, maybe 30 or 40 pages from the book I brought along. And it's going good. We're a little bit more than halfway through. It's Steve Sterling's Against the Tide of Years. If I haven't mentioned it yet in this vlog, yeah. Enjoyable book. Alternate history. So the Friday night, yeah, it was relaxed. But it was steady enough. It was busy enough to keep me going. And I had some good fares in there. In fact, I had one guy at around 10 o'clock. He came from a pub. Actually, I was sent to the pub to pick him up, and there he was pissing against the wall just as I pulled up to the pub. Then he came into the car, and he was being a redneck asshole. He wanted to smoke in the car. I said, no, thanks. Sorry. And then as we're going towards our first destination, he's going to go pick someone else up. He's talking on the phone with, I guess, his drug dealer or whatever, and you could tell he was making arrangements or making a deal for something. Fine. And the address we ended up going to was another redneck asshole who I've dealt with before. But when we pulled up, we got to the house, and then the guy said, shut that thing off. and gave me a 20. It was $14 on the meter. So, okay. And he says, unstop it and start it again. I said, well, you sure you want me to charge you the extra $3.25 it costs to start again? Why don't I just continue from where we are? He said, oh, that's okay. So anyway, he'd given me a 20. I'm holding it in my hand. And he wanted to go to a pub, another pub with his brother or whatever, whoever the guy was, or his friend, whatever. So we go to the other pub. I asked him, do you have a preference which way we take? He says, oh, just the shorter way you go, the more money for you. Oh, okay, fine, okay. So I took him, reasonably short way. We got there. He asked his friend in the back seat, do you have a 5 or something? The guy says, no, I don't have any money. So it's like about $21, and he gives me $25, and I'm already holding the 20 he gave me. He said, as he's getting out, he handed me that. He said, oh, keep the tip, keep the change. Okay, thanks. So it's like a $21 fare, and I got $45 for it, and that's where my luck changed. Then I started getting, it's a funny thing the way it works, how once you're making money, it attracts more money. It's strange, this law of attraction. You start making more money and it attracts. And so I was getting these $20 fares and $30 fares, and I was having other fares where they were like, $14. They give me a 20, say keep the change, and it just kept going like that the rest of the night. And I worked until, well, at 5:30 I cleared from one that was up in the peninsula, and that one ended up being about $30. So I had a few fares like that went pretty good and paid well. And even though it was one of those nights where I didn't really work that hard, because the pace was nice. It wasn't the kind of pace where you're running around killing yourself. And I made in excess of $200 for myself after paying the exorbitant lease for the Friday night. And I had lots of Interac, and I had a lot of cash. And I got enough cash to go for dinner tonight. And take Cindy and some friends out to dinner. I don't know if we'll make a video. It's going to be an Oktoberfest thing where we're going to the Rathskeller restaurant, where we have made videos before. So I don't know if you want to see that. It's the same shit all over again. Anyways, it turned out to be a successful week. Made in excess of $800 for myself. That's the way it's supposed to be, as compared with last week where I made less than $5. See, now we're back to normal again. That first week of the month was just terrible, but now we're back to the rhythm of things and the way it's supposed to go. So anyway, as I was saying, my weekend begins here. Oh yeah. Since it is the weekend, I should do this. I should just take this. Hope yours is better than mine.